What's going on, everyone? Tagupa Troopa coming back at you with another post-draft analysis video. We're going to be talking about the strategy that I built for this deck. So I actually played this draft last week. Just kind of go over some of the kind of key cards that I thought are great for the blue-black draw 2 strategy, as well as go over a few of the cards that I think would have helped out a lot more, and just a few other things to just kind of keep an eye out for whenever you're drafting this color pair for Avatar: The Last Airbender. So just to give a quick breakdown of the deck, so 17 creatures, 5 instants and sorceries, and then 1 artifact. And for the lands, I had the 1 Dark Depths land, as well as 9 islands and 7 swamps. Kind of rounding out to 17 lands, 17 creatures, and then 6 artifacts, sorceries, or instants. Okay, so let's hop right into the creatures. So the Unagi of Kyoshi Island, this was the first pull out of the first pack that I got. So this is a strong indicator that the draw 2 strategy was going to be a good start. This card's really good. So it's got flash, it has ward. It's pretty much ward 4, but with water bending. So your opponent can use artifacts or creatures in order to get over the ward cost. And then whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw 2 cards. Just a fantastic card, really strong. Otter Penguin, this one is a really strong card for early game. This one has whenever you draw your second card each turn, this creature gets +1/+2 this turn and can't be blocked this turn. Making it a 3/3 and then having it be able to just run through and deal 3 damage directly is just really, really good. Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. So here was the signpost uncommon that I ended up pulling. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 colorless spirit token with this token can't block or be blocked by non-spirit creatures. This card was really good to create a bunch of 1/1s that were able to kind of reach through and just deal kind of small hints of damage every turn. Professor Zay, this one was another really good draw outlet. If I could have found a second one, I definitely would have snagged one. So discard a card and then draw a card. That was the main ability that I use. And then the other one is sacrifice Professor Zay, return target instant sorcery from the graveyard to your hand, activate only during your turn. I didn't really use this ability because most of the time I really needed to get that second draw each turn. Buzzard Wasp Colony, again, another one that was good for getting the extra draw each turn, and then it collected any counters. You'll see a few creatures that have counter abilities to give them counters, the 1/1 counters, but I wasn't really using this last ability too much. There was one time where, I'll go over it in the next creature, where they destroyed one of the creatures I had that had 3 or 4 +1/+1 counters, and let's just say Buzzard Wasp Colony pretty much ended the game. Beetle-headed Merchant, whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact, and if you do, draw a card and put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I really like this card, mostly for the draw power. The only thing was you had to sacrifice an artifact or a creature. Easy to get rid of clues, just so you can use this ability multiple times. Sokka, I didn't find myself using this one too much. I think this card is still relatively strong. The only problem that I had was every time I pulled it out on the board, the game would pretty much end the next turn. So I didn't really get to use him too much whenever I was playing. Giant Koi. So I ended up throwing 2 of these into here. I really don't think 2 is necessary. I think if you ever... it was nice because you could use it as a creature if you needed to, with Waterbend 3, just so it couldn't be blocked, but I usually used it for the island cycling or as a discard outlet. June, this one was great. Again, can't be blocked if you drew 2 or more cards this turn, and then You can sacrifice another creature and create a clue token. So if you needed to create some more clue tokens so you can get that second draw, June was a good outlet for that. Hama the Bloodbender. I didn't use this card that much. I think it's okay. The problem that I had with this one was most of the time when I had it in hand, it wasn't when I needed it, so I usually used it as a discard. Hog Monkey, this one was another one that I usually just discarded. The +1/+1 counters work really well with the Buzzard Wasp colony. Flexible Waterbender, this one's pretty okay. Vigilance really helps. The problem that I usually had was if you were going to block with it, it would be a 2/5 when it would block, and then you kind of make the decision of, okay, do I want Flexible Waterbender to die this turn, or do I want to keep it for next turn? Mostly because if you decide to block with it, you can make it a 5/2, which was great if your opponent tried to reach up to 5 just to get rid of this thing, but most of the time they didn't. Good for the control strategy. Geyser Leaper, this one's a flyer, and then Waterbend 4, draw a card, and then discard a card. Again, 1 to get my second draw each turn. Rowdy Snowballers, this one was a good one as a control strategy as well. When this creature enters, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Yeah, great for stunning early game and late game. Callous Inspector, this one was an okay card. I did like getting the clue token, but and that it was a 1-drop, so you can kind of start off the game with a creature on board. But and the Menace was really good, but having it be a 1/1 just doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so it just kind of hangs out there until it becomes a kind of a combat sacrifice. And then Corrupt Court Official. This is the last creature. When this creature enters, target opponent discards a card. I really liked using this late game because if an opponent used up most of their hand, they kind of have to make a painful choice of getting rid of one of 2 cards that they really needed in hand. The other creature that I had in here was Cat Gator. I ended up taking it out. I'll kind of show you the synergy I was looking for when I first had it, but we'll go over that in a sec. Azul Always Lies. I like using this to get rid of any of those ally tokens that were kind of clogging up the board. Plus, I get a +1/+1 counter on a creature, so really strong lesson. Spirit Water Revival. I usually use this for the draw 2. I hardly ever used it to reset the graveyard, so didn't use that as much as mostly just use it for that draw 2. Lost Days. This one was a good one to get rid of any big kind of board threats that your opponent threw at you. You could take a creature, add it back from the second from the top or to the bottom, and then you get a clue. Octopus Form, target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof, and then you untap it. This one was great. I really liked using this one because you could use it because it's an instant. You could use it on your opponent's turn, kind of surprise them when they enter the combat step. They might declare attackers, and then you can activate this in order to get one of your creatures back into a position that it could block. Energy Bending. So this is the card that I try to synergize with Cat Gator. I found it very difficult to do, so I mostly used it just for that extra draw card. But if you use this with Cat Gator, kind of the combination or the synergy that I saw was that Cat Gator, whenever it enters, you deal damage to a target, either your opponent or a creature, up to the number of swamps that you have. Because this card makes all your basic lands all land types, you can make them all swamps pretty much, and your opponent takes as much damage as what you have in swamps. The only problem that I found with this was that Cat Gator is a 7-drop, 6 and 1 black, and then this is 2. So it was really difficult to get that out unless it was a really late game. Tundra Tank. Didn't get to use the indestructible portion as much as I would have liked to, but Crew 1 for a 4/4 just made this card really strong. And then last but not least, the Dark Depths, the face of it, the boy in the iceberg. I just, there was not enough time in the game to be able to use this last ability, so most of the time I was not using this for anything useful besides just adding one colorless mana. Honestly, if I went back, I'd probably take this out. I wouldn't even use this in the draft picks. So anyway, kind of last few notes that I wanted to go over was that if you are drafting this deck, I highly recommend trying to snag a Messenger Hawk if you can. There's a few other cards that I think would have been way stronger for this deck that I just never saw come by in my draft pod, but I would definitely say if you're going to use this strategy, stick with looking for kind of bigger creatures that you can use, because I think when you start realizing that you could use this as a control strategy, but you'll need some creatures that can kind of clog up the board a little bit, I would highly recommend going in that direction. I would say one of the learning things that I had to do with this was Unagi of Kyoshi Island. One of the issues that I had with this was I forgot that it had flash, and kind of being a newer player and figuring out when to use flash is really important, especially for these creatures that have flash. I'll probably go over it in another video, kind of some learning that I had to do during this draft, and I've had to do before, and I'm gonna have to continue learning is when to activate or when to cast a spell that has flash. I understand when you can. I think the issue is being able to do it at the correct time. But yeah, so if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. And hope the next draft that I do goes well as well. So this has been Tagupa Troopa. We're tagging out.